Gabe Hearts 2151 says, "What are your thoughts on an Oops All Dungeons version of Zelda? I'm imagining it in a top-down Link to the Past style." So the first thing that comes to my mind of that is just like the idea of like a Metroidvania style Zelda, because that's kind of just one big dungeon that's a bunch of dungeons connected typically. So I think obviously something like that would be cool.
Yeah.
I've
I
also
think
seen there's like there's like a Zelda 1 rogue like that someone made where like you're just progressing through like screen by screen through a dungeon basically. That could also be cool.
Yeah, you probably have to change like the core mechanics somewhat, or
Big
like the
time.
structure of a Zelda game, so that you have stuff like interconnected dungeons and stuff like that. But I think that would work pretty decently.
Have any
But
of
also,
you guys...
if you think of games like the Four Swords games, like there's no like hub overworld, so those are like
That's Oops
it's
All
basically just walking around like solving puzzles. You're not really in a dungeon, but it's like dungeony. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like level based, so that feels a little
Yeah.
weird. It's not like...
That's kind of what I'm picturing when they say like "oops all dungeon." It's just like one dungeon, then another dungeon, then another dungeon. But I
See,
like Goo's idea better than that.
in my mind, I see it more of as like, have any of you guys played Hades? Like, I
I've
could
watched
totally
a lot
see
of
this running like Hades, right? You've got, Hyrule Castle as the hub, right? Just like the House of Hades, right? And you go and you pick your weapon, and it'll be like your specialty weapon, right? Like your claw shots and your boomerangs and whatnot. And then you go into the generated dungeon that has different levels of difficulty, and you have to like escape, get to the end. So it is roguelike, but I could totally see that as from like a top-down, like isometric Zelda dungeon crawler. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And that would really work, as it doesn't have to be so much like beat 'em up Hyrule Warriors type style. It really could just be solve some more puzzles and have puzzles that are auto-generated. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty sick.
cool, yeah.
If you have some sort of hub, like any sort of hub, even if it's the hub itself is kind of dungeon-like, you could have like a 3D platformer like Mario 64 Banjo-Kazooie style thing where it's like the levels are just dungeons. But as you get stuff from other dungeons, it's not like you do one dungeon and then you're done. It's like you can do as much of the dungeon as you can do, and then maybe you get an item in a different dungeon and you have to come back later. Almost like jumping through the Mario paintings into the world to do get a different star type thing.
That'd be fun.
I could see that.
I'd feel like for me to like it, they'd have to be pretty creative with the dungeons. I like exploring an overworld in Zelda. Like that's a pretty important part of the game for me. So I feel like either for it to work for me, you'd have to have dungeons that like creative dungeons that almost look overworldy or like give off a different vibe than a traditional dungeon.
Yeah,
or you kind of, I mean, in some ways Zelda kind of already does this, but like, or you make the overworld sort of a dungeon itself, where you can go, I mean, most Zelda you already, do a dungeon, gain a new item, and then you're able to solve more puzzles in the overworld. But maybe if they made that more condensed and
I can see that,
full of puzzles.
Yeah, I think it would have to look completely different. They can't just take Zelda dungeons as they are and like put all of them. They have
Did
to
you say
rework it.
Zelda Dungeon?
Zelda Dungeon?
Merch.
What?
Check out our Etsy. Sorry.
I think it would have to be something like a roguelike style, like Nico was saying, or something where
you could add romancing,
like massive and like
just add romancing,
expansive and stuff. Yeah.
I think this is slightly different, but I always think about in Zelda 1, they call like, there's like the overworld, and then they call the dungeons the underworld. This is kind of a different thing, but I always imagine it would be cool if like they all actually interconnected,
Yeah,
like
that would be
if
super cool.
that's my pitch for like a sequel game to The Legend of Zelda, is one where there is level 1 through 9 or whatever, but they can connect in certain ways in the underworld map, and then you almost it's kind of the opposite of Oops All Dungeons. It's all overworlds basically.
Oops, all overworlds.
Yeah,
That's
it's
called
like
The
history
Legend of
just-
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Well, and Tears of the Kingdom kind of has that with the depths, I guess, but
I
like
think
that.
they could do that though. Like where if the entire overworld is basically just one gigantic dungeon with like different sections that have different themes and stuff, and like you can't just do everything. You have to like find something over here and then go over there, and it's like a gigantic labyrinth of dungeon-like stuff.
That'd be tight.
That could work.
Let's play it.
Now,
9709 Nick asks if you could make a movie about any other character from the Zelda series besides the main, who would you choose and what would you make?
I feel like there are some obvious answers here.
Yeah, we pitched a long time ago. Me and Moss did like random little characters. I think you could do a whole Tingle Rosie Rupee Land movie
100%.
with Tingle for sure.
definitely.
Any
You
other
do
fun
like
characters?
You could do like a Rogue One style, like Rebels from Twilight Princess movie. Like they're all doing like their own
like
thing.
the
They have
crew.
meetings and
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
all those peeps.
I would want like a little slice of life Ghibli Windfall Island movie.
Right.
Okay,
Just about the people of Windfall. Maybe do it about the kids and the killer bees or something, right? Like focus on them. But I could totally see that, like a little slice of life anime.
You touch on everyone's little story. I love that.
They should do a like Cheers style sitcom about the milk bar and Majora's Mask.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so good.
Oh my god.
You have like different traveling like feature
They do.
characters that come through one week.
Yeah.
That'd be so.
That's such a good idea. Like it could be characters from other games too.
Yeah.
Like, Tingle is here. What's gonna happen?
Now,
Tingle Majora's Mask.
is the moon falling in said show? Like, are they also? Is it like cute and fun?
Yeah,
and they're
it's
like,
actually like
"Everybody knows
also
your
a
name."
Groundhog Day
it crashes at the end of every
show.
episode.
Ooh.
That's how it ends. Everyone
Every
dies.
episode.
I was thinking that would be like the series finale, and it's like the end of Dinosaurs, where it's just really sad and weird and depressing.
After like it's all comedy, and then they all die.
And then the moon crashes, and it's just the game over sequence, and it ends.
Oof.
I was thinking a similar thing of a slice of life. Actually, no, not slice of life. It'll be like I want a really trashy reality show, but about like the denizens of Zelda 2, so I want to know like what errors dirt is, or like what the Riverman's getting up to in his spare time, what type of schemes is he running.
That sounds kind
You
of
do
dreadful.
spin-offs for each village.
Each village, yeah. Oh yeah, just like it'll be like
The Real Housewives.
The Real Housewives of Mido Village.
Amazing.
You will not believe what Bagu said about error the other day.
You know Bagu? That guy owes me $20.
I would love to see like a buddy cop film with Fi and Girahim. Like they have to team up because oh no, they're both sword spirits, and then they gotta like go and do their little buddy cop sitch. And Fi is like the smart one, and Girahim's like the other guy.
Break all the rules, kind of cop.
Yeah. Who's the hard ass police commissioner in this movie?
Yeah, who could it be?
Maybe
Impa,
Impa, yeah.
old Impa.
Old Impa. Little
Old
little
Impa's
hair
like-
swingy Impa.
That's it.
Old
He's like,
Impa's like, you're him. I don't like your style, but you get results.
Oh my gosh. That'd be terrible. I would hate this movie, but I'm sure it's
No, that sounds pretty great to me.
it's actually in pre-production right now, so.
Mhm.
There's so many unexplored genres. Yeah, I think you could make like a tale about the any sports really, but I was thinking of the dog betting in Majora's Mask.
It'd be really gritty.
like a-
It would be so gritty.
No, do like one of those like 30 for 30 style like documentary things about like Mama Muyan and like the dog racing track and the dog who's
Oh.
doing it for his family.
That would tie into my Tinkle's Rosy Rupee Land movie because one of the things would be like in Uncut Gems where he's like hopelessly addicted to gambling, and so Tinkle can't stop gambling on the dog race.
Mm.
These are gold.
That's dreadful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hollywood
I'm
is
sure there
stealing this
Screw-
just stealing all of our ideas right now.
Yeah, right.
This-
Screw the movie they're making right now. Like this is
Yeah.
what they should be making.
Well, I think after we get this one, it'll be so popular that there'll have to be a Zelda
Yeah, we get
expanded
all the spin-offs.
universe.
Right.
Yeah,
There's gonna be Netflix shows and
ZCU.
Not the ZCU.
the CC. I think you could probably just graft Zelda onto any genre and it would be
Mhm.
fun.
It would work. I mean, Pokemon already does that and it works. So why not Zelda?
Yeah, let them get a little piece of the pie.
It's true.
Exactly.